And here's Cooking with Carole, how to make Mama's biscuits.
This is my way of making biscuits, and I learned what I know from Mother, Aunt Mandy, their mother. It's been handed down from generation to generation, and I want it to stay in the family if people are interested still in making biscuits. But these are the ingredients I use, and they're probably different from the ones that they used years ago. But we need this kind of flour, the unbleached kind. It's white lily with the red label. And you can't hardly find lard anymore, but I use plain lard. And it is hydrogenated, so it didn't used to be, but that's what we have to deal with now, unless you can find somebody like my brother does who makes their own, and sometimes he makes his own, and it's better. But this is my faithful old biscuit bowl that I've used for years. They used to use wooden bowls, but the flour stays in it from one biscuit making to the other. And so you just take what flour's in there and you sift it so that you can get any of the crumbs or big pieces of dough out that's left in there. And this takes, it's a little time consuming, but if you're in a hurry, you can always buy the canned ones, but believe me, these are better. So I'm going to sift that into here.
About how many cups of flour is that, Mother?
Well, if you're starting from scratch without any flour in your bowl, you'll want to at least have 3 cups, and you'll need more than 3 to start. So I'm putting that back in there and sifting it out. Put it there. So you can see this is probably 3 or 4 cups of flour. Now this depends on how many you're cooking for and how many biscuits you want to make. So I'm going to put in maybe 2 more cups, 2 plus. Put that canister away. And this is the size biscuit pan I'm using. This is an old pizza pan.
It's mine. By the way, I've got my Post-it on it.
Negatory.
That'll be the only thing in the will that we'll fight over.
Spraying it with Pam, or you can grease it with your lard, but that's the easy way. So you've got your sifter going, you've got all the flour you need in your bowl. What's left is just a few of the little lumpy crumbs, so you take that out. And then you make a well in the flour. And here again, it depends on how many biscuits you're going to make. And as far as the amount of shortening you use, yes, you can use Crisco. Crisco makes flakier biscuits. These that you use lard with are not quite as flaky. They're more crispy when you finish. But this is the end of my lard, and I'm thinking that it's going to be probably that much, whatever that is, almost a cup for a big pan of biscuits. And you can use this kind of buttermilk that says whole cultured, or you can use this kind, which is fat-free. But this makes a flakier biscuit if you use the whole buttermilk. So you just want to pour your buttermilk in. And of course, I do it till it looks right.
So she's filling the well.
Filling the well with buttermilk, and that's probably a cup or more, maybe a cup and a half. And you just start working the buttermilk and lard together and get it mixed first. And then you start to gradually add in a little bit of flour. Got an interruption, but I'm still using my fingers, my hands, doing the buttermilk and the lard together, and now I'm beginning to incorporate some of the flour into the dough. And so you can see that it's just a little bit at the time, making up a dough where it won't be shiny with buttermilk, but it will be more dense with the flour. My dad always did this with his spoons. He never wanted his hand in it. And then he would put his dough on a cloth and cut out his biscuits. But Daddy made thin, crispy biscuits like that. But this is Mother's way and the family way that I remember all my aunts and my mother doing. So now you can see that I'm getting a lot of flour in here. And it's beginning to come together for me. And this is going to make that big pan full of biscuits. So it takes a while to get it. You just keep turning it with your hand, incorporating the flour. And when it starts to feel firm and sticking together good, that's when you stop and you take the dough off your fingers, like that, and it's all going right back in there. And then you clean your hands. Get some of the excess off so you can work the dough better. And that's how you clean your hands, just with the flour, because it will rub the excess off. You're almost ready to roll it out now. Your dough is pliable. Your biscuits are ready. You don't want to overwork them or they'll get tough. So now you start to roll out your biscuits in your palm of your hand. Put them in your already greased pan.
Mom, what is the temperature on the oven?
The oven temperature is 450. You can do 450 or 500 depending on your oven. Bread is always better when it's cooked fast, baked quickly. You can make whatever size biscuits that you want. Sometimes when there's children, you might want to make them really small. Or if you got hungry men, you might want to make them big, cat head biscuits.
That's what Aunt Mandy called them.
Yeah. It really doesn't take that long when you get up and get everything organized, but it's well worth the wait, I think. At least my family seems to think so.
It is. We do.
Since there's only a few of us to eat this morning, Miranda may take some of these back on the plane. So I'm coming down the home stretch. Almost got the dough made up. And of course, if you're making a smaller amount, say for 8 to 10 people, or even 6 to 8 people, you wouldn't need this much dough, but you just cut down on your ingredients using about the same measurements, only just reduce the buttermilk and shortening flour, of course. Okay, that's the end of that, and what I usually do is just put a little buttermilk in my hand and pat out the top of them to smooth out anything that's wrinkled or not looking quite right. And they're ready to go in the oven. Just gotta wash and clean up now. Yay!
All right, so how long in the oven?
About 10 minutes. You just have to, you set your timer like Melissa does, or you can use your internal temperature and just know when they smell right.
All right. Oh, they're almost ready. Look at that. Oh, you can't see through the... Oh, here we go.
Oven skirt.
Whoa. All right, she says they're ready.
Out they come.
Oh.
There's your finished product.
Isn't that a thing of beauty?
Going into this basket right here. Somebody special made this for me. Her name was Ruby Shaddix. The end.